I'm Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and I'm coming to you once again from the On Air at IMARC booth. Sitting next to me is the Managing Director of Tempest Minerals, Don Smith. Don, how are you?
G'day, Shae, how are you?
Good. Now it is about time you and I got to catch up in person.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of great conversations this year. I think that our on-site one was one of my favourites. Let's talk about some of the activity happening at Yalgoo.
Sure.
You have a pretty impressive drill program underway. About 5,000 metres, 20 holes have been sunk in the ground in total, but you've already only put one announcement out today.
Yeah.
So let's try and unpack what's happening here.
Sure.
First of all, for everyone who's not familiar with Yalgoo, what are you looking for out there?
So primarily we're looking for base and precious metals, so copper particularly at this target. But there is, of course, it's famous for having multiple commodities.
Speaking of multiple commodities, one of the assays you recently put out to the market showed that there was iron ore.
Yeah.
Now, I think that was a bit unexpected from my point of view. So obviously I don't know the region. What makes this region so prospective for iron ore?
Good question. So Yalgoo is known for gold and base metals, but it's lesser known because it has 4 of the largest iron ore mines in Australia, or iron ore deposits in Australia. 2 of the largest magnetite mines are there just down the road, being Carrara and Sino.
So how does this benefit your prospectivity of your project overall? Because I would have thought if you're looking for copper and then you find iron, it tells 2 different stories.
Not necessarily. So geology doesn't work that way, and often things come together, particularly in this kind of environment. Iron, magnetite iron and copper often come together, including at Golden Grove down the road.
Okay. So what does this do for you going forward? Obviously, you've got 20 holes being drilled, and you've only released one of the assays to the market, so there's clearly more assays pending. What are you hoping to come back from the lab?
Certainly, we're hoping to find more copper. The assays that we've got at the moment definitely don't explain the anomalies that are there in the soils at Remorse. So we're hoping to find some more of that. But also now that we know that there is economic looking iron there, we're certainly going to be looking forward to those results as well.
So I'm going to tap into the geologist that you are, because you did something that I know a lot of people don't fully understand.
Yeah.
And you use the words "don't explain the anomaly." In geology speak, why is that particular sentence important?
And it's another great question. So what we've done at Remorse, and most people do, is we've collected soil samples. So Western Australia in particular has very weathered terrain, so there's a lot of soil, and often the soil can reflect what the rocks are underneath, because the rocks have decomposed and become soil, and they retain the chemistry of the rocks underneath. And so if you find soil that has a lot of copper in it, ergo, you would say there's probably some copper in the rocks underneath. And this has very high grade copper in the soil, so we're expecting more copper in the rocks beneath.
So let's sort of, what type of depths are you targeting in this program?
We're drilling down to about 200 metres.
Okay.
But the rocks are exposed at the surface, so we can project what is there down to our deepest part in the drills. Yeah.
All right, so obviously there's indications that there's mineralisation quite close to the surface. Why has this area been overlooked?
Why
am I just finding out about it now?
It's a difficult one to answer. Part of it is that the government geology maps have some areas that weren't probably mapped in enough detail, and so there are rocks there that no one knew about. I think some of the previous explorers in the area just didn't look at the data. And we do, because we're massive data nerds, as you know.
I love that. I also love the idea of basically putting fresh eyes on old data. And obviously, you being a geologist, going, oh, something isn't marrying up here.
And that's exactly what happened, yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, tell me, what comes next? Yalgoo, are you impacted by the wet season?
We've already had enough wet season for the year. Hopefully, we won't be seeing any more of that. No, so is the answer. No, it should be dry for the next 9 months.
9 months, okay. Yeah. So what, obviously we're waiting on drill results. What comes next?
We are scanning the samples that we're taking as well, so we have an indicative idea of what is in the rocks already, and we're compiling all that information in together to further define what we're going to do next. Yeah.
All right, obviously there's a lot of field work that's been done, and the desk geology needs to kick off. What can we expect going into the first quarter next year?
It's a good question. So typically we do our desk geology at the same time as we're doing our field work, because we have innovative technologies so that we can do that. However, on this case, we've had so much field work going on, we are a little bit behind. And so we're going to be reviewing all the data that's coming in, including the scanning of the chips that we're doing. And we'll be putting a few things together and hopefully including an exploration target for this iron that we've got at Remorse.
I look forward to that exploration target. It's always a good sign of progress when they come through. Listen, as you said, there is a lot happening, so much so that you couldn't get to the desk geology, which is a great sign of activity for a company. Explorers should be exploring. Don, I hope I get you back on camera in a few weeks and we can start going over these results.
Look forward to it.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, mate.